The Cardinals tonight begin a 3-game series in Philadelphia. There won't be much love for this guy. 2 years ago, J.D. Drew spurned the Phillies and their fans. He's in town tonight with the Redbirds. A huge crowd is expected. A reason why is because of Drew, and another is because of Big Mac, Mark McGwire. St. Louis Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Net Midwest is brought to you by Budweiser. Brewery Fresh Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. By your local friendly Missouri, Illinois Dodge dealers. By Southwestern Bell, friendly, neighborhood, global. By your local Chrysler and Plymouth dealer. And by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places. Fly Southwest, the official airline of the St. Louis Cardinals. Coming up, Bobby Abreu and the Philadelphia Phillies hope to continue their winning ways against the Cardinals. Cardinal baseball up next. Big crowd. A couple reasons why they're out. Cardinals are in town. J.D. Drew makes his debut in Philadelphia after spurning this organization and their fans a couple of seasons ago. And, of course, Mark McGwire. There's Renee Latchman, Cardinal third base coach, enjoying himself before the start of tonight's game. Dan McLaughlin, Al Rabowski, we're certainly glad you're with us for Cardinal baseball. Should be an interesting 3 games here in Philadelphia because of J.D. Drew making a debut here in Philadelphia. This is our tonight's starters, brought to you by your local Chrysler Plymouth dealer, Mercker against Schrank.
Here's a 30-year-old rookie, Schrank. They'll be matched up against the Cardinals' most experienced starter, Kent Mercker. He's 4-4 in high ERA. Mentioned an emergency start for Steve Schrank, and he's been with 5 different organizations in the last 5 years, including Cardinals minor leagues. He'll make his second major league start against the Cardinals tonight.
Cardinals and Phillies open up a 3-game series as the Cards look to rebound from losing 3 of 4 at Pittsburgh over the weekend. And there's Joe McEwing, Al, native of Philadelphia and Little Mac's neighborhood. A lot of family and friends in the stands tonight here in Philly. Little Joe will bat leadoff tonight for the Cardinals. And Tony La Russa's club plays second base, and there's Tony La Russa.
Well, Tony was spending a little extra time with the crew chief here, Ed Montague, and I'm sure he's going over what happened in Pittsburgh, where Tony and Duncan were ejected over the weekend, and some things were said that was already quoted in the paper here by the umpires that were worked the series yesterday. They knew about some of the things that happened, and I'm sure Tony's pleading his case not to have these things linger on and be a persistent problem for the Cardinals from this point on.
No doubt about that. Talked to Tony La Russa today. He mentioned those comments and also the status of J.D. Drew. He will not start tonight, but he could be available to pinch hit. McEwing will lead things off for the Cardinals, followed by McGee, who's making his 4th straight start. Big Mac will bat third. Last 11 games, unbelievable numbers. Ray Langford, very hot in his last 8 games, followed by Thomas Howard. He'll get the start right. Tatis, Castillo, Howard, and Mercker round out the Redbird lineup.
Well, here's this starter. He's basically a sinker, slider, changeup type pitcher. He got really good control. He's walked 3 guys in 22 and 2/3 innings, and 2 of those were intentional. 5th organization in 5 years. He was signed in November of '97 by the St. Louis Cardinals for the minor leagues, and then released on April the 3rd of '98. So he went to minor league camp. He wasn't good enough for the Redbirds, but now he's pitching in the big leagues for the Phillies.
Defensively, behind Schrank, Gant, the former Redbird in left. Glanville in center, Abreu in right. Rowland, Arias, Jordan, Bronya in the infield. Lieberthal will catch. Schrank on the mound. And there is the hand of J.D. Drew that is bandaged. It is sore. He took batting practice. Did take some outfield today, but he will not start. Could be available to pinch hit. What a reception he got tonight. J.D. Drew. Winters, Davison, Danley, and Montague are the umpires for tonight's game.
And you haven't heard a Philadelphia welcome yet.
I heard some of it tonight, but until he gets introduced officially in this game, now you can hear some of the crowd calling for J.D. Drew, calling for his head probably. Until you officially hear him in the game, it's not the same. These boo birds are out in full force tonight here in Philadelphia.
I heard some of the commentators saying, well, this is what Philadelphia loves for. That's what they live for.
Yeah. They love it.
And you know what? People think he's only going to hear it once. He's going to hear it throughout his career.
That's right. For folks that think that J.D. Drew is avoiding the Phillies, that certainly isn't the case. This is one of many trips he will make to Philadelphia. He has to face this team sometime or another. Good pitch on the outside corner. Catches the corner. It's 1-2. Joe McEwing. McEwing at .293, 7 homers and 36 RBIs. Outfield shades him to the right side. Next to Joe. Swing and a miss. Struck him out.
Right. 13 games there. 12 of them were in relief. He picked up a save, and then 2 days later against Florida, he had to make an emergency start. He went 6 shutout innings in that emergency start for Curt Schilling, and now that Paul Bird is experiencing lower back spasms, Steve Schrenk gets his second major league start. He's off to a good start with a strikeout of McEwing.
And getting another start tonight in center is Willie McGee. He has hit safely in 23 of his 33 starts this season. Average at .245, no homers and 15 RBIs. Rolen, a Gold Glove winner at third, even with the bag. Willie takes a strike.
Tank just pounds in strikes, but almost to a fault a little bit. And when he catches a lot of the plate, he is hittable. Of 12 hits allowed, he has given up 4 home runs.
That's hit to the left side. AstroTurf base hit for Willie, and the first man is aboard in this ball game. That brings in Big Mac, who hit some majestic shots in batting practice, upper deck shots, halfway up the upper deck. Nice round of applause for McGuire as he's introduced here at Veterans Stadium.
Crowd really doesn't know how to cheer.
McGuire leads the majors with 44 homers and 102 RBIs.
You can ask Michael Jack Schmidt.
That's right.
Who was booed lustily throughout his career. It's sort of a love-hate relationship here.
Next one to McGuire. This is outside 2-0 with Langford on deck. And right now, the way that Ray Langford is swinging the bat, you'd hate to almost walk McGuire and bring up Langford with 2 on. Next to Big Mac in there for a strike. 2-1.
McGuire a year ago was in pursuit of 400 home runs. He reached that plateau, and then in back-to-back seasons, 400 and 500 have been eclipsed.
He's sitting on 44. Pops that back, evens the count.
Major league leader with a 44 home runs and 102 RBIs.
And no shift. Implored by this Philadelphia ball club. Second baseman Jordan on the second base side of second. Here are the career batting marks for McGuire. Next to Big Mac. Misses outside. Full count. Let's see if he gives McGuire anything to hit here with a full count and a man aboard. The 3-2. Misses low and away. 2 men are aboard. That's the first walk. There's the manager of the Phillies. Youngest manager in the major leagues at 39 years of age, Terry Francona, and he's starting to turn things around here in Philadelphia.
Go back to their last 350 games. They're 10 games over 500. And one time they were almost 40 games under. There's some talent here.
There is some serious talent here. Here's Langford. Fouls that away. Langford has averaged back up to .314, 13 homers, 46 RBIs. He has hit safely in each of his last 7 starts with 5 multi-hit games. He has picked it up. McGuire at first and McGee at second.
Couldn't play yesterday because of the achiness in his knee, and that's going to be a little bit of a problem in back-to-back series on turf.
Next to Langford. in there for a strike. 0-2, and he didn't like it.
So this guy will throw a lot of strikes.
.344 against right-handers is Ray Langford. He's in the hole here, 0-2, and that misses outside. Well, you mentioned the availability of Langford in this series on possibly the worst turf in the league. Arguably the worst turf. And that really brings up the availability of Drew. It's important to have him play in this series. One, to get over what he's going to face from this crowd, but two, to give guys a day off. You don't want McGee playing 4 or 5 straight days on turf. Same thing with Thomas Howard, who is aching as well. Next to Ray. Check swing. Did he go? No, he didn't. Two and two the count on Langford. One out. First and second occupied. That's popped up and out of play behind home plate.
Schenk started at Scranton AAA, was 3-1, a 2.93 ERA in 32 games, all in relief. Pair of saves. Then 1-1, an ERA at 1.99, and 12 relief appearances and 1 start and 1 save. The major league level.
2-2 to Langford. Now full count. He went full count on McGuire. Now full count on Langford. Thomas Howard on deck. Outfield straight away for Ray Langford. McGuire at first, McGee at second. Here comes a 3-2. Hit to the right side. Jordan. There he is. Thrown you at first, but Langford beat it. On a close play at first, he beat it out. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of the game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. McGee now stands at third with 2 outs. Langford at first. After the force at second, that brings in Thomas Howard. Thomas hit .239. Hits that to center. Landville going back. On the track. Off the wall. 1 run's going to score. Langford around third. He's going to score. Thomas Howard. A 2-out double that scores 2, and the Cardinals are up 2-0 here in the first.
That is, I think, good piece of hitting. Get a guy that throws a lot of strikes. You go up there and be ready for the first one. And Thomas Howard really kind of trying to keep that batting average above 200, batting from the right side. He's .360 batting right-handed, but from the left side here is what I'm talking about. Got the ball up away from it. He has that power. He drives it high off the wall, right at the base of the wall. 2-run score. This is a good hitter's ballpark. Finally, the Cardinals get back to their winning ways when they hit the run in scoring position.
Brings in Fernando Tatis. He took a ball. Fernando at .293 with 24 homers, 77 RBIs. Now you talked about the ball carrying here. Well, it carries in Pittsburgh as well, but the Cardinals were really shut down. Hopefully they get things going offensively here in Philadelphia.
We can't forget that they were facing a pretty good pitching staff, and they were handled mightily. They really didn't, because of that pitching, there really wasn't much life in that ball club.
Comes a 1-1, misses outside. Chris Benson, the #1 pick from a couple years back, is the real deal in Pittsburgh. He's got to be happy. That's tonight's starter for the Cardinals, Ken Mercker.
You know what? Usually when Mercker pitches, he keeps the team right there, and they respond with runs. He doesn't always get the victory, but Mercker, when he's on the mound, the ball club is 27-17, a .614 winning percentage in his 44 Redbird starts. 18-11 and 98, and 9-6 in 99.
2-2 the count to Fernando Tatis. Thomas Howard at second. He has a pair of RBIs. Hit to the left side. Arias is there. Gets rid of it quickly and got him. But the damage has been done. Off the bat of Thomas Howard. A 2-out double helps that man, Kent Mercker. When we come back, he goes to work. Cardinals up 2-0. Howard made him pay. A 2-out double that scored 2. Cardinals up 2-0. Here is the Phillies lineup. Glanville lead things off. 147 hits. He's looking at a batting title possibly. That's most in the National League. Followed by Gant and Abreu. Roland will hit fourth. Bronya, Lieberthal, Jordan, Arias, and Schrank round out the Phillies lineup. And on the mound for St. Louis, Al, is Ken Mercker, the left-hander.
Making his 8th consecutive start. You see he has the 4 basic pitches. First half, the ERA was high, but in the second half, and traditionally, he's much better in the second half.
Behind Mercker to be Langford, McGee, Thomas Howard in the outfield. Tatis, David Howard at short. McEwing, McGuire, Castillo on the infield for St. Louis. And leading things off, it'll be Glanville, Doug Glanville, hitting .328 with 8 homers and 58 RBIs. First pitch by Mercker is on the way, and it's a ball upstairs here in the bottom of the first, and the Cardinals up 2-0.
Glanville came back home to Philadelphia. He was a Pittsburgh resident. He went to Penn. He went to Pitt.
Right.
Everything. He's done a nice job. He leads the National League in hits.
Smokes that one foul.
Tied for 6th with a .328 batting average.
Since the All-Star break, hitting .352. Breaking ball, sliced to the right side, and that's in there for a base hit. Glanville wants 2. Around first he goes, bobbled by Thomas Howard. He has himself a stand-up double to start things up for Philadelphia here in the first.
It's been a hitting machine. He's currently on a pace for 215 hits. And Pete Rose was the last Phillies to have 200 hits in a season, 208 and 78. Inside out stroke, just slicing the ball down into the right field corner. And an extra base hit for a man who is now hit in 7 straight games. And he's been scoring runs also.
Glanville is 7th in the league with his batting average, which started at .328, but now it will rise. And here is the former Cardinal, Ron Gant. A couple of former Braves facing each other, Mercker and Ron Gant. Gant at .253 with 12 homers and 54 RBIs. He has picked it up as of late, though.
16 hits in his last 33 at-bats with runners in scoring position, .485.
Next again, off-speed delivery and a ball outside.
But here's what you're talking about, Danny. Ronnie Gant was hitting .132 in his first 19 games. Since May the 1st, he's hitting .280 in his next 77. 10 home runs, 50 RBIs, and 44 walks. He sees a lot of pitches.
Hits that down the right field line, slicing foul and into the stands.
They believe no National League pitcher has been able to throw a complete game against the Phillies ball club. They think it's an all-time record. And one of the reasons why is they have 3 guys that are in the top 5 in pitches seen. Ron Gant's one of them.
Swings and misses there and fouls it.
Got Castillo's. Remember, you see sometimes Castillo, and I don't know if this was the case, where he doesn't put his hand back behind his back. Kind of leaves that hand right there, and watch what happens. Now that's got to hurt, where you see frequently most catchers will take that bare hand and put it back behind their back. He kind of leaves it right in the midsection, and he paid for it a couple times.
I think he gets so into it behind the plate that he forgets, I think, Al, sometimes, because he is so in it emotionally. He doesn't put his hand behind his back, and it's out there and it gets hit.
Tools of ignorance applies, huh? Safety first.
Fouled away again off of Castillo. 2 straight offhand. .283 average against left-handed pitchers for Ron Gant. 365 since early May.
And that was something that he was about a 200 average with us when a left-hander was on the mound.
He seems to have even opened up a little bit more in the box. Just misses outside.
Wow. Mercker wanted that one.
Looked like a strike here, Al.
And it looked like they were set up a little more inside, and he had to catch it awkwardly.
Well hit, center field. 2-2. Gant comes back to fight his former mates. Tied at 2. Home run number 13 for Ron Gant. RBIs 55 and 56.
Al McCray, the hitting coach of the Phillies, told me, he says Ronnie's doing much better, still not quite the way he wants him, but he said he's not pulling off of pitches out of way. Steele looked like he wanted that further in. It's out over the middle of the plate, and he didn't try to do anything special with it. He just went with the pitch, and he hits his 13th home run, and a great deal of satisfaction in doing it against his former mates. Especially when the Cardinals are paying half his salary.
That's right. Brings in Bobby Abreu. He's had some kind of season at 394. Third in the league in hitting. Pops that back into the upper deck here at Veterans Stadium.
He had a career high 5 hits yesterday.
Abreu at 349, 15 homers, 63 RBIs. Takes a strike. One and two the count. Next to Abreu is in the dirt. 2-2. It's our Dodge key matchup of the night. Ken Mercker and Bobby Abreu. 23 games against the Phillies. Mercker is 4-4 with an ERA just under 5. 135 games at the vet. 314 average. 19 homers for Bobby Abreu. Hits that to the right side, but foul.
Bobby came up very highly touted with Houston, and they let him go in the expansion draft, and he was traded to Philadelphia for Kevin Stocker.
Looks like a pretty good deal. Third and batting at 349. Behind Larry Walker of Colorado and Sean Casey of Cincinnati. The 3-2 by Mercker. Squibber left side. Tatis has got to get rid of it. He does and got him. The first out recorded by Mercker. That brings in Scott Rowland. Dangerous third baseman here in Philadelphia.
Mercker throws this ball, little squibber over to third. Then he kind of thinks he's in line of the throw to first. And he remembers, okay, I better get down, take cover.
Tatis is always seems like at 3/4 or below, so that's going to be a low throw going right at Mercker's head. Brings in Scott Rowland. Ripped into left. That's a base hit. Giving chase is Langford. He'll get it in quickly. Rowland thought about taking two, but retreats back to first.
Boy, you like to see the way Scott Rowland plays the game. Left the batter's box thinking two, rounded the bag thinking two, and then made the defense stop him to a single. Sat a bad back. He sat out yesterday's ball game. The ball still kind of bothering him, but they need his bat and his glove in the lineup, and he'll have to play every day the rest of the way.
Well, he signed that big contract, 4 years, $10 million, but now it seems like a bargain.
It was after winning the Rookie of the Year, and then, of course, Ronya, who's always been a very good hitter. 4 home runs, 18 RBIs in his last 12 games, but Now he is hitting left-handed pitching.
Takes that high and tight. Average at 278. 15 homers, 67 RBIs for Rico Brogna.
He just had a club best 8 straight RBI games.
On the corners, Al, this team is pretty solid when you figure in Rolen, Brogna. Both had 100-plus RBI seasons a year ago. One and two the count. Rico Brogna. Next pitch. Popped up behind the plate into the stands. Rolen is at first. Mercker takes his time, now steps off. Talked about Rolen in that sore back. He thought he was speaking in confidence with Kurt Schilling, Al, and said that he would not like to finish his career in Philadelphia if this team played on AstroTurf.
Foul ball, I think.
Hit the bat. And Schilling told some reporters about that. Made some big news in Philadelphia that Rolen wasn't a team player, but it's exactly the opposite. This guy goes out, plays hard every day, and is one of the tougher players the Phillies have.
Last pitch, up and in, and he does get an easy strike on a check swing. Yeah, well, I mean,
batter feels cheated when that happens. Popped away.
I mean, there really are not too many players, especially if you have, once you develop a bad bat, it doesn't go away. Ask Mark McGwire. He's
right.
Got a herniated disc since mid-80s. You know, why would you want to play on turf?
Especially on this turf.
Yeah, he's not a slap hitter that just, hits down and takes advantage of it. So, I mean, you can understand why.
Defensively for Rico Brogna. Willie McGee in center, shades him a little bit to the left side. Rolling at first, swing and a miss. First strikeout by Mercker. Brings in Mike Lieberthal. Hey, Cardinal fans, this break in the action is brought to you by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. This Bud's for you. Here is Mike Lieberthal, who has been solid defensively and offensively. Getting more production out of him than they ever expected. Average above 300 at 307. 22 homers, 69 RBIs. He said he'd like to get to that 100 mark in RBIs, and he's got a chance to do it in 99. Takes a pitch on the outside corner for a strike.
Doing a lot of his damage against left-handed pitchers. It's hitting 390 versus southpaws. Made the All-Star team this year.
Yep. First Phillies catcher since Darren Dalton back in '95. Make the All-Star team.
Average currently at 307. It's never been below 301 all year long.
Realistically, Al, does this team have a chance at that wild card?
I think it depends on their pitching. Paul Bird can't make the start today. Schilling has been out for a while. He didn't pitch particularly well over the weekend. But offensively, Terry Francona has these guys playing.
Pretty good offensive lineup. Second in the National League in batting average overall.
Hitting with runners in scoring position.
Hit to the left side, a base hit on an 0-2 count. Fought off a tough pitch, and now singles into left. It's the fourth hit in this first inning, given up by Ken Mercker.
Play with a lot of heart here, so here's a breaking ball. They have the ability to come from behind late in the ball game, and so If their starting pitching is fine, they will have a shot at it.
Brings in Kevin Jordan, getting a start tonight at second. 2 men are aboard. Mercker struggling a bit. Here in the bottom of the first, it's a 2-2 game. Inside out swing, up the right field line. McGuire giving chase, makes the play with his back to the infield. He won a Gold Glove back in 1990. He's had a nice season defensively and puts the third out away here in the first. It's 2-2. Top of the second, we're tied at 2. Ron Gant, a 2-run homer in the bottom of the first, has tied this game up at 2-2. Now let's take a look at the Pizza Hut division standings. In the NL Central, the Cardinals are 4th, 13 games out, only a game back of Pittsburgh. But it is the Astros and Reds atop the division and going for the division title. It'll be Castillo, Howard, and Mercker. Anybody can reach it's the top of the order for St. Louis. Castillo comes in at 275, a couple of homers and 16 RBIs.
317 average in his past 9 starts, including 5 2-hit games.
Much better hitter against right-handed pitching as well, hitting .319 as opposed to .185 against left-handers. He's 1 for 11 in his career against Philadelphia.
And remember, the Cardinals selected Alberto as a Rule 5 draftee from the Phillies organization. They wanted him to back up Lieberthal.
Next is in there for a strike. Ripped up the middle for a base hit. Leadoff man is aboard here in the second. Castillo with the base hit. His average continues to climb towards 300.
Well, the nice thing about this is when Tony started inserting him more frequently back behind the plate, he was worrying about his batting average. And it hasn't suffered. It's just continued to improve.
Since the All-Star break, Castillo has been the primary catcher. And it makes you wonder if Eli Marrero would be better served by moving to AAA.
Well, the problem is Eli's out of options.
Right.
So send him down there, you lose him.
Here is David Howard.
That's truly where that rule works against our guys' development.
Be a chance for Eli to gain some confidence. And the only way you do that is by playing every day and getting back on the horse. That's in there for a strike. 1-1. On deck, it's Mercker. Then the top of the order. 2-2 here in the top of the second. Just joining us, J.D. Drew in his Philadelphia debut. Out of the lineup with a sore hand. Good pinch hit tonight, but did not get the start. There's J.D. Can't see it there, but his hand is taped. He did take batting practice, did take outfield. One point, Al, I was watching him on ground balls to the outfield. He bobbled 5, and this crowd was on their feet in center field. There's a strikeout, second of the night, as Howard goes down looking.
This guy's tailing action. Starts over the outside corner, and Mike Winters' estimation, it stayed there.
That's the first out here in the second with Castillo at first after a leadoff base hit, and that brings in Kent Mercker, the pitcher. On deck, the top of the order, McEwen. Mercker squares, now a throw over. Castillo back safely. It's a big crowd on hand here at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. One to see McGuire, but maybe for the first time since McGuire's arrived, he's been overshadowed by one individual, and that is J.D. Drew tonight. Even then, that's debatable. That's fouled away.
Well, he had to do a press conference with J.D.
That's
Drew.
right.
Followed the J.D. Drew press conference.
J.D. said he did not have any fake mustaches or hats. He was able to go out and get a bite to eat last night and this afternoon before coming to the ballpark. But you know, he's a bit nervous. 0-1 the count on Mercker. Swings away. Up the middle. Shortstop has to come. That's Arias. Gets rid of it and got him. Well, he took his time, but Mercker not the fastest, and he got him. Don't forget, tomorrow on Fox Sports Net Midwest. Fox Sports News tonight at 5:30, followed by the Cardinals and the Phillies. It's Cardinals tonight at 6 o'clock. 10 o'clock, Fox Sports News prime time following a Cardinal victory, and then at midnight, the last word with Jim Rome. All tomorrow beginning at 5:30 on Fox Sports Net Midwest. Brings in McEwing, average down to 292. First time up, back in the first, he struck out. Had a couple of days off last week out. It seemed to serve him well. Came back and had a solid series against Pittsburgh. First one way inside.
Shank has hit 3 batters, and you see that movement just coming and boring right in on the acrobatic. I wouldn't give him too high of points on that headstand.
Not at all. That was ugly.
An aborted cartwheel.
2-0 the count on Joe McEwing, who has hit safely in 43 of his last 54 games. Castillo at second. Popped up. Will it get out of play? Yes, it will. First strike, 2-1 on Joe McEwing. Super Joe coming home. This is his hometown. A lot of family and friends in the stands here in Philadelphia.
It was about 20 miles away.
Next to Joe. Popped up. On the infield. Bronya wants it. Has it. Puts it away. That's the third out here in the second. We're through an inning and a half here in Philadelphia. We're tied at 2. Arias will lead things off, followed by the pitcher, then the top of the order in Doug Glanville. First pitch in there for a strike. Well, congratulations, Grandpa.
Well, you know, the Bucks had their second, so we have to have second grandson.
That's right.
Callan Mason Rasp made entry into the world 4 p.m. St. Louis time. This afternoon, he's 7 pounds, 5 ounces, 20 inches long, and Grandma says he looks just like his older brother Addison. I said, well, he's got the same parents.
Across the diamond, Tatis up the line, but McGuire comes off and applies the tag on Arias. Congratulations.
Well, I really didn't have anything to do with it.
It's always fun, though, to become a grandpa.
Yeah, because you can send him home. Best bumper sticker you ever saw. If I would have known grandkids were so much fun, I would have had them first. Guess what? Steve has had 1 AAA at bat. He struck out. He's had 2 major league at bats. He struck out both times.
So you're saying this will be a strikeout?
I'm saying I could do the math if it's a strikeout.
The odds are a strikeout. And there's a strike.
There's Shannon and his protection.
Of course, Mike Shannon studying the game very hard on the phone. Jim Jackson, their producer and engineer in the background. Joe Buck, of course, KMOX, and here on Fox Sports Net Midwest. And everybody knows the Moon Man.
Philadelphia's finest. No one.
That's right. Whether he wants to see him or not, they know him. comes a 2-2. Hit the center. Back on his horse goes McGee, and he'll put it away for the second out. Not a strikeout, but nonetheless, Al, it is an out. The second here in the second inning. This day in Cardinal history, 1974. Ted Simmons hit the Cardinals' only grand slam of the season. The Cardinals' 5-3 win over the Dodgers. Brought to you by Schnucks. This day in Cardinal history back in 1974. You remember that?
I'm embarrassed to say no.
Really?
No.
Ted Simmons, if you look at his numbers and compare him to some of the other Hall of Famers, and it was just a shame that he had to go head-to-head with Johnny Bench in that era, but his numbers are comparable to some others in the Hall of Fame.
Let me tell you something. Ted Simmons was as pure a hitter as anybody in the 70s.
What about defensively, though? He's, of course, going to be overshadowed by Johnny Bench, but
well, yeah,
serviceable.
I mean, Johnny Bench is going to be probably the all-century team because of the combination of defense and offense. Teddy was not in that class, but if the game was on the line, he was the only guy I wanted to throw to. So that's good enough for me.
You still talk to him much?
Not enough. Not enough.
He makes it over to the ballpark every once in a while.
He works for the Cleveland Indians. And in fact, he's been rumored to, if they ever wanted to make a managerial change, he'd be one of the leading candidates.
Landville strikes out for the third and final out here in the second. We move to the third. That man will come to the plate second. Came back. Ron Gant with a home run. A 2-run shot, his 13th of the season. We're tied at 2 as we move to the top of the third. Don't forget, baseball Thursdays. The Tigers and the Rangers. Thursday at 6 on Fox Sports Net Midwest. The Rangers are gunning for their best record in the majors. Don't forget about Pudge Rodriguez. He'll be highlighted in that game. He has been on fire as of late. He recently became the third catcher in AL history to have at least 20 home runs in 3 straight seasons. Don't miss it. Tigers and Rangers Thursday night on Fox Sports Net Midwest. Here is McGee to lead things off for the Cardinals in the third. Ropes at one foul. First time up, Willie had a base hit. Scored a run on the double by Thomas Howard. The 0-1. Slice foul 0-2. Into the stands and very, very hard. It looks like everybody's okay. Oh, 2 the count on Willie. Here in the third. Ball outside. 1-2. Get back to your point before the break. If there was to be a managerial change, and you know Ted Simmons pretty well, you think he'd certainly be interested in coming back to St. Louis?
No, I'm talking about in Cleveland.
I'm talking about in Cleveland or in St. Louis or really anybody in the major leagues.
I don't take people's jobs away. Which, you know, it's hard to believe that
Cleveland,
there's this semi-feud between John Hart and Mike Hargrove. I mean, they got what, 12.5 game lead again, and yet they're not happy with the way the ball club's playing.
Mark McGuire.
Teddy, all I know is Teddy is an outstanding baseball man with a wealth of talent. He was a good general manager, and then he had the heart attack, but I think he's taking care of himself better. He's giving up smoking. And he looks good. Last time I saw him at the ballpark, he looks real good.
First time up, there was no shift on McGuire. Things have changed here in third. It's Kevin Jordan, the second baseman, now on the shortstop side of second base. Next to McGuire. In there for a strike. Evens the count at 1-1. Next to Big Mac. Flash bulbs are popping. Veterans Stadium. It's been a while since this crowd has had a chance to see McGuire. Cardinals made a visit early last season. They haven't seen him since. Here comes a 2-1. He held up.
Well, the Philadelphia crowd saw him make his National League debut for the Cardinals right here in Philadelphia. He was homerless in that series, but he has hit a home run in this park.
Hit 3 in one game. Well hit down the left field line. Gant gives chase. It's off the wall. That might be only a single. McGuire around first, but he hit it too hard. It's only a single. Ball gets away, but McGuire has to stay. That ball was a rope.
That was a rope, but if Ron Gant probably thought it was a little bit higher, if he would have gotten back and maybe turned around, he might have caught the ball. But he was anticipating it being high off the wall, and it got over his head very quickly.
Split second into left field.
Just short, compact swing. So he hit real low, but he just didn't feel he could go back, and he plays the carom perfectly. So you can't really argue the way he's played. And Ron Gant has only made one error all season long.
One of the top outfielders as far as fielding percentage is concerned in the top 10. So McGuire's at first with one out. A lot of room to the right side for Langford. Hit up the line. Knocked down by Bronya, but foul ball.
He might have hurt his wrist or hand or something. And he dove for it. Maybe where he has his wrist taped up. Or maybe it bounced up and hit him in the face, mouth or something. Hard hit ball. Yeah,
like it hit his bare
hit
hand.
the bare hand, and then I think anytime you dive, you run the risk of getting a rug burn. All the nasty, pukey things like spitting, the tobacco and all those kind of things. You know, you get a burn, and then all of a sudden you get a staph infection, and those things don't heal when you're playing on turf until the season's over.
1-2 on Langford. Hit into right. That's a base hit. A one-out base hit for Langford into right. And it's first and second here in the third. Ray continues his hot hitting.
Ball down and into him, and he's going to hurt you with that one.
He has now hit safely in his last 8 starts. This has got to be the worst turf in the league, don't you think? It's not the worst. It's, well, near the worst.
It looks pretty worn.
Yes, it does. Here's Thomas Howard, who doubled in the first. That scored a couple of runs. He has the 2 RBIs tonight, average at 245. Slices that foul.
The ball club plays here the next 2 nights, and then
football.
Well, go home when they take on the Cubbies, and that series is sold out. But then Philadelphia comes in for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at Busch Stadium. There's lots of seats available.
In the gap in right center field. That's going to get down and go to the wall. 4 RBIs now for Langford, or for Howard, but they're going to hold up Langford at third, so 3 RBIs. Cardinals regain the lead as McGuire scores. And again, Howard has a double, his second of the night.
Well, that's the, you know, you're really the trailing guy when you have the speed of Langford and you're following McGuire. It's so difficult, and Latchman really has to hold up Langford because he doesn't want him to run into Big Mac. Almost a repeat of the double he had. Mac's got to kind of hold up. He's kind of just trotting home. He knows he can trot home, but that kind of stops the forward progress of Ray Langford.
Now they're going to intentionally walk Tatis with Castillo as a base hit on deck. I said football before, Al, because they got the Eagles playing here over the weekend, so that's another reason why this turf gets so beat up, and you can see the lines on the infield.
Yeah.
talked to some of the Rams. They hate playing here. Played here one time last year. It was awful. Castillo's on deck. So it'll be bases loaded. Only one out for the Cardinal catcher. Tony La Russa has something cooking here in the third. Langford stands at third. At second, with his second double tonight, it's Thomas Howard. And at first, it's Fernando Tatis. Now the Phillies want to talk things over.
Billy Brewer, left-hander, is throwing in the Phillies bullpen. Galen Cisco. He was the captain of Ohio State and one of Woody Hayes' favorites. Galen was my pitching coach in Kansas City, and Whitey's pitching coach. And we were playing Minnesota one day, and Ohio State was playing, I guess, Minnesota, and Woody Hayes. You've seen this love affair between these two guys. But I mean, they said all the players just absolutely loved Woody Hayes.
Is that right? Castillo has a single tonight. He's 1 for 1. Big chance here. Bases are loaded, only one out here in the third. Castillo hits this one to the right side. That's going to get down and into the gap, off the wall. 1 run scores. Howard around third. Here comes Tatis. Here comes a throw home. It's cut off. And how about Castillo? 3-run score, 3 RBIs. On the double by the Cardinal catcher.
He might have hurt himself going around second base. Castillo kind of limping a little bit around the ankle area or knee. He was trying to go to third, and then he put the brakes on, and kind of the lower half stopped, and the upper body went forward. A breaking ball plugs a gap out into right center with the bases loaded. They all come around. Now watch him when he goes past second base. He's thinking 3. And you see there? And here's Tatis with the third. He was on first, so he circled the bases. With a pretty slide.
Yep. Now it's 6-2 with 4 runs here in the third for St. Louis. Castillo breaks this one wide open. 7 hits already for the Cardinals. Here's Howard. Takes a strike on the outside corner. Alberto Castillo, 2 hits already tonight. 1 a bases clearing double.
He got hit on the bare hand catching. It looked like the knee buckled, but then he kind of grabbed around the ankle area. But he's having fun out there. He's not going to come out. Nope.
Two and 1 the count on Howard. Fouls head back.
When he comes around second, or almost maybe even at the second base bag, he might have gotten out of stride a little bit.
Hit him. Howard will take first. On a 2-2 pitch, he's hit. That brings in Mercker. That brings out Francona. Steve Schrank is done. He was called in An emergency start for Bird. And now we have our Southwestern Bell called to the bullpen. So the Phillies make a change. We'll tell you all about it when we come back. Cardinals on top, 6-2 from AAA.
Well, he's been an experienced guy in Seattle days and moved around a little bit in the American League. Where you see the Phillies starter who can't be real pleased with his performance here, but he was an emergency starter, his second start in the major leagues at 30 years of age.
Brings in Ken Mercker, only one out. Pops up a bunt attempt. He's out. Doesn't do the job. Second out. So it stays first and second, and it brings in McEwing. Joe tonight 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a pop-out, average at 291. Cardinals would love to add to their 6-2 lead. On deck, it's McGee, and he led off the inning. First to Joe is outside. Four hits in the inning for St. Louis. Walk was mixed in there. 4 runs have scored. It's 2-0 on Joe McEwing. Playing in his hometown here in Philadelphia. Howard is at first, Castillo at second. Chance for Joe to go ripping. It's 2-0. Here it comes. Fouls it away.
Brewer started it back in 1990. Reached the major leagues with Kansas City, the Yankees, Oakland. He's been with the Phillies the last couple of years, but hasn't really been able to stick with them.
2-1 the count. Misses outside, 3-1. Joe has hit safely in 43 of his last 54. He'd like to make it 44 out of 55 right here. 3-1 count, should get a pitch to hit. First and second, 2 out. Pulled the string off. Tough pitch, full count.
Brewer had a inflamed nerve in his pitching elbow. This is great career pitching totals. He's kind of bounced around the last couple of years in AAA and the big leagues. Met him in St. Croix. Is that right? In the golf tournament.
3-2 on McEwing. Pops this into center. Glanville has it and puts it away. But the Cardinals have done some damage thanks to Alberto Castillo. 3 RBIs for him in the inning. 4 runs scored at 6-2 St. Louis. Up here in Philadelphia. Quite a sight. A lot of historic marks. Al and I will be bumming tomorrow. Bouncing through all the historic sites here in Philadelphia.
I've done that before. Actually went driving right by Independence Hall. On my right, coming back to the hotel, with Liberty Bell on my left.
Here is Ron Gant, who has found a home here in Philadelphia after being shipped away by the Cardinals. First time up, 2-run homer. Next one is inside. 1-1. Keith Richter, Brent Richter, Craig Reverman, Dennis Book, Tim Mensing, Carl Van Bockel, all from Illinois. All here in Philadelphia to cheer on the Cardinals, and this note says, Dan and Al, we better see J.D. Not tonight, at least not starting. Could pinch hit tonight.
So we don't need to have him pinch hit.
That's right. Gant pops this one up. Howard is there. Cardinals shortstop puts it away for the first out here in the bottom of the third. Tony La Russa and his staff always charting. This guy's been tough to chart. Dave Duncan, Tony La Russa, Bobby Abreu. 1999 has been one of the top hitters in the National League, really in all of baseball. First time up, he grounded out, average at 349. Off-speed pitch in there for a strike.
He's hit in 13 of his last 15 games at 528 clip. 18 of the last 21, 468. Raised the ball around and coming off a career-high 5-hit game yesterday.
He's in the hole now, 0-2.
First time I saw him, it looked like left-handers could really get him out with a breaking ball, but he's been able to make adjustments the last few years.
Here comes the 0-2 by Mercker. Fastball just misses.
Wanted that ball inside, and he looked like he left it out over the plate, but didn't get the call.
One-two misses outside. 2-2. Cardinals on top 6-2. They scored a pair in the first, 4 in the third. Next pitch, swing and a miss, got him.
Good changeup by Mercker.
Third strikeout for Ken Mercker. Hey kids, there's a terrific new promotion this year at the ballpark. It's the Nabisco Kids starting lineup. Check out the Nabisco display at your local Shop and Save and register for a chance to take the field with the Cardinal players. At the start of the game, your name will be announced as you take your position on the field at Busch Stadium. As you stand at your position, you will be accompanied by a Cardinals player for the singing of the national anthem. Register today at your local Shop and Save for a chance at the Nabisco Kids starting lineup. Here's Scott Rowland. He's 1 for 1 tonight. First pitch was a ball. Next swing and a miss. One of the top young third basemen in all of Major League Baseball. This guy can do it with the glove and the bat. Already has a gold glove. He won that at the age of 23. Only other third baseman to do that at 23 was Brooks Robinson. That's the kind of player that Scott Rowland is.
He knows how to play the game. He plays it right. Wonderful young man that's going to be a poster child or poster billboards for baseball.
I know you've talked to him, Al, and so have I. He's a nice guy. But sometimes in modern day sports, when you have young players and egos and the kind of money that's made, whether it be baseball or basketball or football, you don't see that. Pops this one up. Going back is Howard. This could be a tough play. In shallow center, puts it away. Rowland hit it a mile high. Mercker has settled down. He's only given up 2 runs. It's 6-2 St. Louis at the end of 3. Following 2 seasons. Our answer upcoming after Willie. That's a ball outside. Look out. Willie always does that. Sends those screamers foul, whether it be into a dugout or the stands. Foul ball, leaving the count at 1-1. Willie is 1 for 2 tonight, has a base hit, run scored back in the first. Cardinals on top by the score of 6-2. Waits on that breaking ball and bangs it out into center field. Another base hit for Willie. He's 2 for 3. Always like to see first base occupied when this man steps up, and that is Mark McGwire. Has a base hit tonight. Hit a screamer in the left off the wall and was held to a single. He is 1 for 1. He's also walked. McGuire is sitting on 44 home runs. Lays off a ball outside, and on deck it's Langford. As I mentioned before, has been hot, has a base hit tonight. McGuire at 279 leads the majors with 44 homers and 102 RBIs. Next pitch, pulled the string. 1-1.
Brewers had 151 games of relief in the American League, so chances are these two have faced each other in the past.
1-1 to McGuire in the dirt.
Lieberthal, an excellent defensive catcher. He has really set the standard in the National League.
74-game errorless streak.
74-game errorless streak, longest from any major league catcher this season. Leads National League catchers with a .998 fielding percentage, just one error in 97 games.
2-1 to McGuire. Out ahead of it. Squibs it foul. 2-2. McGuire is hitting for the third time tonight. Second baseman is Kevin Jordan. First time up, he was on the right side of second base on his side. Then they put the shift on. Now he's back on the other side again. Next to McGuire. Breaking ball just misses. Ooh.
A slow breaking ball there, and Mack might have been fooled, and so might have Mike Winters, home plate umpire. Kind of looked like it did go around the plate, though.
3-2 to McGuire. On the way. He walks. Second time he's walked tonight. He's reached base 3 times. First 2 men on our board here in the 4th.
Billy Brewer, last April 9th, had the ulnar nerve, the Tommy John type surgery. That's about the same time when Matt Morris had it this year. And Matt is scheduled to begin light tossing on April the 15th. He's about, what, 2 weeks behind Kerry Wood?
Yep. If that. Here's Langford at 3:15. He sits safely in now. His past 8 straight starts. Wire at first. McGee at second, nobody out. Swing and a miss.
.88-mile-an-hour fastball. A little bit up, and Ray still has some trouble. They've been trying to change his hands a little bit to protect against ball up.
Hits that to the left side, base hit. Willie around third. He's being waved in. Gatton had a strong throwing arm. Willie is in there for another Cardinal run. 7-2 St. Louis on the RBI by Ray Langford.
A multi-hit game for Ray. 47th RBI. So this ball isn't down a little bit, and then Ray going with the pitch. See where the Ray Langford bat ends up. Is it in the way of Willie McGee? Right there, you see on-deck hitter Thomas Howard gets it out of the way, so there's nothing that can hurt Willie, or in an effort of stepping on the plate, you step on that bat and break an ankle. Willie can still run and scoot around those bases.
He can still fly.
Ray Langford can still hit.
Ray had struggled against left-handed pitching. Came in at 222 as Willie scored on that RBI. That's beginning to rise, and here is Thomas Howard, who's had a nice night. Couple of doubles, 3 RBIs. He's 2 for 2.
And now he turns to his strong side of the foot. 360 hitter when he's batting right-handed. Came in only batting 202 left-handed.
Cardinals have banged out 9 hits already in this one. We're only in the 4th. And it's 2-0 on Thomas Howard. with Tatis on deck. Three and 0. Thomas Howard, 2 doubles tonight, 3 RBIs. He'd like to add to that. Langford at first, McGuire at second. Everybody will move up. 4 straight balls to Thomas Howard. Bases loaded for Tatis, and we know what he can do when the bases are loaded.
So he's going to go as far as their pitching will take them.
McGuire stands at third. Langford at second, and Howard, who just drew the walk, is at first.
Which the Phillies were a ball club that was desperately trying to trade for Andy Pettitte.
Tatis, center, grand slam, Fernando, his 3rd grand slam of the season. He is something else. Home run number 25. RBIs, 78, 79, 80, 81. A bomb to center.
Absolutely no doubt about that one. It looked like it went off the facade of the upper deck. His 3rd grand slam this season. Of course, the first 2 were memorable as they came in the same inning. But he challenged him with a fastball, and he just crushed it. Not quite to the Budweiser side, but no, I guess it was in that lower deck there, but there was no doubt about it. And look at that uppercut swing and full extension. He knew it was gone.
Like I said, when the bases are loaded, he knows what to do with it. That is his
Unload 'em.
That's right. That's his 3rd grand slam of the season. That's tops in the National League. Fernando, a grand slam. Cardinals are on top 11-2.
To make Ted Williams proud, he always believes that you have to have a little bit of an uppercut and lift.
Ooh.
You can see he caught that just perfectly. He's been popping up a few balls, but not that one.
The 25th home run for Tatis this season. Grand slam. Here we are in early August, Al, and I don't think there's any doubt this guy is going to be 30-30. I mean, he's got a great chance for it. Swing and a miss by Castillo, and that is the first time he's been retired. First out of the inning, and listen to the clap by the Philadelphia crowd. Tatis now at 25 home runs, and the 25th a grand slam. Ooh. No doubt about it.
Renteria is now hitting for David Howard. And Ray Langford having a little fun.
Renteria 273. Swing and a miss on an off-speed delivery.
Hitman said, "Oh, I'll take that swing."
Mike Easler talking it over with Tatis and Langford, the hitting coach for the Cardinals. One thing that he did, Al, when he came to St. Louis, guys like Langford and McGuire, he would talk with them just about the state of hitting. But with the young guys, like a Tatis, like Renteria, Castillo, Morero, some of the other guys, he's really taken them aside and tried to provide that individual instruction that maybe a veteran wouldn't get as much of, as opposed to a younger player. And a lot of these guys really credit Easler for helping them out this season. Big breaking ball. McGee and Tatis. Wire in the background, the youngsters and the veterans of this club. Offensively, St. Louis has been tough in '99. Last month or so, they tailed off just a bit. The pitching has been there, but that guy has been there all year long. That's Tatis.
You know, but you can look at the future, and it looks very exciting because of the youth. And the talent is one thing. Talent, and then you're talking about young players sandwiched around some seasoned veterans of the McGees, the Langfords, the Eric Davises, the McGuires. But the nucleus is going to be around for a long time, and we're going to have fun with it.
Yep. We've talked so much about Roland, but Tatis and I, in my mind, easily could have been an all-star this season. He had the numbers. 11-2. Cardinals on top.
Yeah, remember, it's a team sport, and so your teammates have to do enough to get you into that those numbers are, you know, represents an all-star season.
3 straight strikeouts to end the inning. But Tatis goes deep. Hit the high fives. 3rd grand slam of the season. 6 for 2. Robin Roberts. Back in the 50s, and his number is retired here at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Dan McLaughlin, Al Hrabowski, we're glad you're with us here on Fox Sports Net Midwest. In the 4th, Cardinals on top with a commanding lead, 11-2. They're the home run hitters of tonight's game. Can a 2-run shot, and Fernando Tatis, last inning, grand slam.
I believe that grand slam equaled the Cardinal record for most grand slams in a season. Jim Bottomley and also Keith Hernandez.
There's a strikeout by Mercker, who can be very aggressive now, up 9 runs. Fourth strikeout for Kent Mercker of the game.
His cutter, slider. That's the pitch that has not only helped him with the left-hander, but has also helped him with the right-handers to keep them honest and keep them from diving across the plate. Good fastball there. I'm sure that was pretty much hitting his spot, but he didn't get the call.
So Rico Brogna strikes out, and this is Mike Lieberthal. Takes a strike. Evens the count at 1-1 with 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. Cardinals on top by the score of 11-2. Here's another strike, and Mercker is working quickly. David Howard left this game with a bruised right forearm. And remember, he was hit by a pitch, Al, so that very well could be why he has exited this game and is Renteria.
You just can't stay healthy. You knew with a big lead like this that there had to be a reason why David Howard come out of the game.
Bringing into the count on Mike Lieberthal. Now time is called as Lieberthal steps out.
Could have put Polanco in to play short. Scored 11-2.
Sliced foul up the right field line and into the seats.
You never want to take anything for granted. And there's a lot of game left, and this is a offensive ballpark, so Tony's just going to keep on pushing the troops, and we left a lot of runs on the bases in Pittsburgh, so pick them up here.
3-2 by Mercker. Hit into left, giving chases Langford, and it's going to be off the wall. One hopper off the wall. Lieberthal is in with a double. His second hit of the night. He's 2 for 2 with a single and a double here in the 4th.
And then hitting .390 against left-handed pitching, he adds to that with 2 more tonight. Way off balance, but he goes down and lifts this ball. I know players are bigger and stronger, but you wouldn't see a ball one hop the wall
when he's fooled.
It's totally off balance. And, you know, Golfing at it.
Off-speed delivery. He was on his front foot. Hit a one-hopper off the base of the wall. Here's Kevin Jordan. Pops this one to the right side. Can McGuire get a play on it? Into the seats. Now bounces out for a strike, and it's 0-2.
Bob Davidson, the umpire, handed the ball to McGuire so he could throw it in the stands. That way, Bob.
And here in Philly, you don't make any friends when you go after a foul ball. It's you and yourself.
Yeah, hands it to, hopefully, as a child, and so parents will get in there. And
look at the guy with the necklace. He's pushing over 5-year-olds to get to it.
Probably his 5-year-old.
Yeah, I know. He's trucking him. That's foul. 1-2 the count on Kevin Jordan. Fans in St. Louis are civil about it, at least. Hit up the middle. McGee is there. Can he get him at second? The throw. Got him. What is Lieberthal doing? Hard hit ball right at McGee, and he doubles off Mike Lieberthal. McGee can still run and definitely can still throw. At the end of 4, Cardinals on top, 11-2. Here's that last play out to end the 4th. McGee coming hard on a line drive, and Lieberthal caught in no man's land. Where was he going?
Well, 11-2, you got to be a little more conservative. Never get doubled up on that line drive, and especially when the score is so lopsided.
Here's Joe Mack, who pretty much is the only Cardinal who hasn't been in this game from an offensive standpoint. 0 for 3 tonight. He struck out, popped out, and flied out. Pops this one into short center. Coming hard is Glanville, and he'll make the play, and Joe is 0 for 4.
That can't do a little too much. There's a lot of family and friends here, and it's only natural you get a little bit out of sync.
Brings in Willie. He's had a great night tonight. A couple of base hits. Runs scored. He's 2 for 3 on the night.
I would say I'm too old for this. Let the young kids, come on.
Yep.
Killing me. Keep it up.
That's right. Keep it up is right. To McGee. 2-0. Cardinals have 10 base hits on the night. One of those a grand slam by Fernando Tatis. Willie takes a strike. Tatis, his 3rd grand slam of the season. Of course, he hit 2 grand slam home runs the same inning against Los Angeles.
April 23rd.
That's right. Off the same pitcher.
Shanho Park. No. Yeah, it was Park, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I don't think he's been the same since.
Nope.
Third time Willie's hit a vicious shot into the stands. This one was caught, though. He likes that bat.
Yes, he does.
You've been good to me.
Next to McGee. Hit left side. Arias has to get rid of it. He does, and McGee is retired for the 2nd time tonight. Willie is 2 for 4. That brings in McGuire. Mark has a base hit tonight. Reached base 3 times. Has a couple of walks. McGuire at 279.
The man leading the major leagues with his 44 home runs and 102 RBIs. Pair of walks. Now he's rapidly getting closer to 100.
Deep center, a shot. That's going to be one hop off the wall. McGuire on first, heading into second. Has himself a stand-up double. Another frozen rope by McGuire. This time over the head of Doug Glanville, the center fielder, off the wall. And Big Mac is 2 for 2.
2 for 2 and 2 walks. He's already scored 2 runs. Out away from him, right off the end of the bat. It's the only thing to save this ball from being home run number 43.
McGuire is locked in.
Almost look like he goes, oh, look it, I like this one. Out away from him. It's that extension and then his lift.
Big Mac at second with 2 outs. Here's Ray Langford. Couple of base hits for Ray tonight. Another multi-hit game for him. Now time is called.
Louis Brewer may have agreed with the pitch and then chose to shake it off and get a different delivery.
1-0 to Ray. Inside 2-0.
You know, when McGuire, when he's up there at the plate, a lot of times he has a grimace, but it looked like this time he almost said, uh-oh, I like that, and then he gets his grimace.
Hit sharply, but foul. Ray has his average back up to 317, a 2 for 3 night so far. 13 homers.
8 straight starts for Ray. He is hit in, only separated by a couple pinch hit appearances.
Three and 1, the count on Langford with Thomas Howard on deck.
His knees were achy yesterday, so he couldn't play. He needed his bat yesterday.
The 3-1. Broken bat. Jordan puts it away. Broken bat by Langford, a double by McGuire. He's stranded. Cardinals on top, 11-2.
Here to Alex Arias in the bottom of the 5th inning. Cardinals lead 11-2. It's been a pretty good offensive battle for the Redbirds, and this pitch is up high. Mercker, you know, it just seems like whenever he takes the mound, his teammates respond, and whether he gets a victory or not, Danny, they usually win as a collective group.
Yeah.
What did I say, 27 and 17? 27 and 17 in Mercker's 44 Cardinal starts.
Well, he has an 11-2 lead right now. He can be very aggressive. That's popped away. 3-2 on Alex Arias.
You know, Danny, that's kind of you've got to be kind of very careful with that. You can be very aggressive because you can't throw it down the middle of the plate. So you still have to pitch.
Walks Arias. That is his first walk of the game. First walk issued by Mercker.
Anderson now pinch hit here for Brewer.
Marlon Anderson. He has had 2 10-game hit streaks this season. He can swing the bat.
Another one of the good-looking young second basemen in the National League.
1-1 the count. Hits that right at McGuire. Steps on the bag. Now he goes to second. He's caught in a rundown. Renteria to McEwing, and Joe will tag him out. Good job by McGuire. First on the short hop, and then secondly, Al, to wait and be patient.
Well, he's playing behind the runner with a big lead, so he's in better fielding position. Ball was hit very hard, gets the force out, or gets the out there. Now they have to tag the man because it is not his base until after they recorded the out of the batter. So if he could have gotten back to first base, it's his. Have you ever seen a play where a play such as that, and maybe say even a runner even thinks that, okay, I can get back to first base, you know, and they'll give me the bag like they would at third? Well, that's not the case at first base.
Right.
So
McGuire's made a couple of good plays. Remember on that pop-up back to the infield. There's a strikeout by Mercker. So good defense, good pitching, a lot of hitting tonight for St. Louis. Through 5, Cardinals on top 11-2. Temperatures in the 80s, low 80s, and the Fanatic is having some fun here at Veterans Stadium. We hope you're enjoying this one. Cardinals on top by the score of 11-2. And we have a new pitcher, Al, for Philadelphia.
Jim Poole, the veteran left-hander reliever, he will take over here. Screened for the 48th time. He's 0-1, 1 save. ERA in the mid-range of the 4s. Has been bounced around quite a bit the last few years. Pitching for Los Angeles, Texas, Baltimore, Cleveland, San Francisco, Cleveland, and now Philadelphia. Got a good curveball.
We just saw that good curveball there to Thomas Howard, who's had a nice night. Takes a strike there. 0-2. Howard tonight, couple of doubles. He's also walked 3 RBIs. 3 of the 11 runs. Up the middle. That's a tough play for Jordan. Gets rid of it. Got him. No. Said he was safe. Bronya is as sure-handed as you'll find. He picked that one, but St. Thomas Howard beat it out. What'd you think, Al?
I thought he was out. I think he's safe. Close play, but he short-hopped him, and I think he did beat it out.
Now brings up Tatis. Breaking ball. Down low, it's 1-0. These are our RBI leaders. Road games. Jeff Bagwell topped that list at 57. There's Tatis updated now at 52. Second in the league. Breaking ball catches the inside corner.
I know how 12 of those 52 have come about.
Via the grand slam. Tatis in his last at bat hit his 3rd grand slam this season. Rips that right at short. Arias, Jordan, Bronya. 6-4-3 double play.
It sounded good, though.
Boy, he hit it right on the button.
You know, sometimes that's the deceiving thing about double plays. You've got to hit them hard. That one was scorched.
That's a double play, but in his previous at bat, he went deep. Grand slam.
He hit it hard. He just got it up, too.
That was a bomb by Tatis. It's 11-2, and here's Castillo. He's been beat up tonight. Was hit on the hand with a pitch early on. Came up limping at second, but yet finds himself still in this game. Has had a productive night. Takes a strike on the inside corner.
282. They came into the season with a career batting mark under 200.
But he works at it. He has earned that 282.
Well, and because of the batting mark and his handling of pitchers, He's getting the bulk of the catching time now.
Poole throws a breaking ball in there for a strike. It's 1-2. Differences in halves for Castillo, 388 now in the second half.
And you know what? He's been Morero's biggest backer.
Yep. Ryan Bronya, and he'll put it away by himself for the third out. Ron Gant will lead things off. They move to the bottom of the sixth, 11-2 St. Louis. It could be your ticket to sit with select members of the Major League Baseball All-Century team at this year's World Series. Don't miss it. Your chance to do it. Check it out through MasterCard. Log on to foxsports.com to find out how you can join the All-Century team at this year's World Series. 11-2, and here is Ron Gant, who has the 2 RBIs in this game for Philadelphia. Gant had a home run in this game, a 2-run shot. This would tie the game in the first, but then the Cardinals have exploded for 9 runs after this bomb by Ron Gant to tie it at 2. Gant now with 13 home runs on the season and 56 RBIs. Next to Ron, in there for a strike, 1-2. Gant, Abreu, and the third baseman, Doster. Anybody can reach Bronya. 1-2 the count. Here's the pitch by Mercker. Popped into center, giving chases Willie. Right on the track. Puts it away. Willie, a nice game tonight. Couple of nice defensive plays. Couple of base hits. And Mercker retires the first man here in the 6th. Another look here. Again on that front foot. Popped into center. So much strength to the track, but Willie was there. Brings in Bobby Abreu. Abreu at 348. 0 for 2 tonight. He was 5 for 5 yesterday, but 0 for 2 tonight. Takes the ball upstairs. It's 1-1. Next pitch, up the middle. McEwen on the backhand. Throws on the run. Uses the turf. But Abreu has speed and beats it out.
That's one thing that's quite evident. He leads the National League in triples, and a couple times he's shown that ability to get out of the batter's box and get down the line very quickly.
Abreu has 14 stolen bases on the season. He can fly, and he's hit first.
Joe Mack does a nice job. He tries to utilize the turf, but the speed of Abreu is a little too much for him. That was also one that just because it was on the turf, it really did not get there that quickly. Here's David Doster. Took over for Scott Rowlands to get him off the turf and get a little ice on his ailing back.
Doster hitting .219 on the season.
And a .300 average against left-handed pitching. Minimal bats.
One out here in the 6th of an 11-2 game, and the Cardinals are on top. Two and one the count. Nice pitch by Mercker. Pulled the string off speed delivery. Doster was way out in front. Evens the count at 2-2.
That is, to me, Mercker's best pitch, the changeup. And, of course, it's set up with a fastball.
Popped into shallow right. Coming hard is Howard. Makes the play. And there's 2 away. Don't forget, guests of our broadcast will receive a gift certificate from Famous Bar. For any occasion, don't forget the gift of choice. Famous Bar gift certificate, always the perfect gift. And tonight on our show, our pregame show, Cardinals Tonight, Al Rabowski's guest was J.D. Drew. Different signs all along the stadium here at Veterans Stadium. Not in the favor of J.D. Drew, believe me. Here's Rico Bronya, who struck out a couple times. Left-handed batter, 9-run lead. McGuire will play behind the runner at first, and that's a shot up the middle. Renteria, nice play to his left. Gets up and throws and got him. Mercker has himself a commanding lead. 9-run lead. It's 11-2 after 6 in Philly. Of course, Lou Brock, the last National Leaguer.
All right.
Before Tony Gwynn.
That's August 29th. Upper Terrace reserve seats remain for that ball game.
To short. Arias is there. Renteria is retired for the second time. To lead things off here in the 7th. About to say Lou Brock, Al, prior to Tony Gwynn, the last National Leaguer with 3,000 hits, and of course quite a week for baseball with McGuire's 500, Gwynn 3,000, and Wade Boggs 3,000. And the way that Boggs did it was pretty special.
They kind of do it 3 days in a row.
Yeah.
And Boggs being the last to have his milestone, the first in the history to hit a home run for his 3,000th hit.
Kisses the plate at the end. I like that.
Yeah.
Paul Molitor is the only man to get number 3,000 with a triple as Mercker breaks his bat, hits it right at Doster.
I'd rather kiss my wife and daughters.
I think you're right. Let's take a look at the bat on this replay. Mercker lines out.
That went further than the ball.
Yes, it did.
Tim Poole is settled in here, retired 4 in a row.
Here's Joe Mack. Come on, Joe, get a base hit here. He is 0 for 4 tonight. One of the hometown fans takes a breaking ball. 4-ball, 1-0. In the dirt, 2-0. McEwing is struck out, popped out, flying to center a couple of times. 0 for 4 tonight. A lot of Cardinals have been in the act of this 11-2 game. Not Joe. Lines that one down the right field line, giving chase Abreu, and foul. 12 hits for the Cardinals. 11 runs. 4 of those runs came on one swing of the bat by Fernando Tatis, a grand slam, his 3rd of the season. And there is Mike Easler, Cardinal hitting coach. As we mentioned, Al, he'll work with everybody, but in particular the young guys on this team, like a Joe McEwing. On deck, it's McGee. 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. Next to Joe. Line foul of the 3rd base line. A lot of anticipation for the fans. One, to see McGuire, and maybe more importantly, to see J.D. Drew, but they have been disappointed tonight. J.D. did not get the start. There's some McEwing fans.
A whole slew of them there sitting very intently watching with McEwing shirts, and so I'm sure that's some family.
Takes a ball down low. 3-2 on Joe McEwing. Willie on deck. The 3-2 to McEwing. Fouls another one away.
Usually when you see this many pitches, you're going to get a mistake and something you can hit hard.
Figure with 11 runs, McGuire's hit one if you're just joining us, but that's not the case. Tatis with the grand slam and a lot of hits, and there's another one. Way to go, Joe. Base hit in front of family and friends here in Philly. McEwing 1 for 5 now on the night. That's the 13th base hit for the Cardinals.
They've been fouling to the right, to the left, so he thought he'd try it up the middle. And successful with his first hit, 5 plate appearances.
Now it's Willie. Takes a strike. Willie a couple of base hits tonight. A couple runs scored. Average of 250. 2 for 4 tonight. Also played very well in center field. Breaking ball. 0-2.
You're talking about the Easler and his approach with the young kids. You know, you don't have to spend as much time with the veteran guys. They know what's happening, but you've got to keep the youngsters all positive, and that's one of Mike's biggest strengths.
Just misses outside. First ball to McGee, 1-2. Tomorrow it's Jose Jimenez for St. Louis, who is 5-12. And on Wednesday, former Philly Garrett Stevenson will make a start. Don't forget all games this series right here on Fox Sports Net Midwest. Willie went around and he strikes out. Well, after 6.5 innings, the score is 11-2, St. Louis on top. Now let's go to the Fox Network Center in Los Angeles for an update. A couple of games in September against the Cubs. That's pretty easy.
Yeah, but you gotta listen. Gotta listen.
What?
To John Hewlett?
Bob and Tom. Hewlett comes in with the sports.
Okay, at least you don't have to listen to you.
Of course, he is the PA announcer at Busch Stadium. So you watch Romy, find out who's on, listen to Bob and Tom on KC, and away you go. That's pretty simple. Just misses.
Gary Bennett hitting here in
the 7th. 2-2 on Bennett.
Mercker's gone all the way.
This is outside there. You know, Mercker would like to finish this one out. Has himself a 9-run lead in the 7th. Fouls hat back. Gary Bennett draws a walk. So Bennett pinch hits for Mike Lieberthal. Walks here in the 7th. Now that's only the 2nd walk for Mercker. He walked Alex Arias back in the 5th. A leadoff walk to Bennett here in the 7th. That brings up Kevin Jordan.
And with the big lead, they like to make sure that he doesn't start giving away free passes and giving up some runs.
Alex Arias is on deck. Mercker would like the double play, but Jordan can run a little bit.
And the Phillies have gone 133 consecutive games since September 2nd, '98 without having a complete game thrown against them. And they think this is the longest one in history. The previous high in the 90s was 125 games by the Mariners that ended last month. And you know how many complete games were thrown in the 70s and 80s,
right,
stuff like that. So they think this is the longest one in history.
We're in the 7th. Hit sharply. Right at Renteria. Doubled up is Bennett. Thank you very much. Double play.
Well, they have not played sharp baseball, the Phillies.
Twice now we've seen runners doubled off.
And both of them have been in this spot in the order. First time was Lieberthal, now it's Bennett. Jordan's lined into 2 double plays.
Both times he hit it right on the butt.
Yeah, hit it hard, and it was just bad base running by the man on first or second.
First one was Lieberthal at second. He hit it to McGee. And Lieberthal was doubled up at second. And that time Bennett doubled up at first. 2-0, and Castillo is going to go calm down Ken Mercker very quickly now on Arias. And I like this, Al, taking the time just to get him, collect himself, and get out of this inning. He worked very fast on those first 2 pitches. Castillo sprints back behind the plate, and here we go.
And if the inning is extended, Sepsic will pinch hit.
That's something that Terry Francona, no matter if it's an 11-2 game or a tight game, he uses his bench a lot, keeps guys involved. 3-1 now on Arias. Pop down the left field line, giving chase is Langford, and it is foul. Francona, you talk about a couple of bench players, Al. Kevin Jordan and Sepsic, who is on deck, each will have 200 at-bats before the season is over, and that's bench players, role players. He keeps the guys involved, and if you're a role player, you have to feel valued. And he continues to go to you. That's popped up on the infield. Cueing his air. Mercker continues to roll. Gets the big double play. Gets the pop out. Tony La Russa in his club. He knows how to use his bench. They're on top 11-2.
Amori Telemaco, but I want to tell you about Formula One Grand Prix of Hungary. Sunday at 10 a.m. on Fox Sports Net. That's right, Eddie Irvin looks to make it 3 wins in a row to increase his lead over Mika Hakkinen in the Drivers' Championship standings. Irvin surpasses Hakkinen in the point standings after winning the Grand Prix of Germany last week in his 2nd win in a row. Irvin has 52 points and Hakkinen has 44. Irvin and Hakkinen have 3 wins this season. Ferrari, Irvin's and Michael Schumacher's sponsor, hasn't won a title in 20 years. Oh, that's right, Formula One Grand Prix of Hungary.
Here's McGuire. Big swing and a miss. He is in the hole, 0-2. Grand Prix of Hungary.
I was over there in Hungary 2 years ago.
Oh, 2 to McGuire. Popped up a mile high. Who wants it? The third baseman, Duster, puts it away.
Mako changed speeds on Big Mac, trained for the 29th time. They picked him up from the Cubs. Watch this big swing go straight up. All the kids think it's going to be a home run. Well, that kid's going to catch it. Oh, but Doster stole the show.
There's about a 55-year-old kid that thought it was gone, too. Every time this guy swings, everybody thinks it might leave the park. And as well they should. Here's Langford. Fouls that down the left field line. Well, big crowd on hand here in Philadelphia, but They begin to head for the exits.
I tell you, when I was over in Hungary, staying in a little city outside of the tent city with a processing center for everyone going in and out of Bosnia.
Is that right?
And spent 3 days there. And the last day before we got turned over to the Navy and went over and flew to Italy and Sardinia, Sicily, went to an administration building, and it was very interesting as 5 MiGs were up on the standards out in front of it because it was a communist base a few years ago. On Langford. So you're not going to be making the Grand Prix of Hungary, but you'll be watching it. Yes. Sunday. Mika right before Mika Hakkinen, right before the Cardinal victory.
Right. Of course. Pop back and fouling out of play.
Cardinals over the weekend became the first National League team to draw over $2 million on the road. One of 7 to have over $2 million at home. So Big Mac and company have played in front of better than $4 million this season. I'm talking to some of the Phillies players. They were just sitting there looking at the stands and saying, "Hey, this is great." They don't get crowds like this unless Big Mac and Cardinals come in.
J.D. Drew
and company.
Yeah, that's right.
Half to cheer, half to boo.
That's right.
And only half of them have got to perform. Well, some of them got to boo for their own team.
Right. J.D. out tonight. Could be back tomorrow. More than likely, I'm talking with Tony La Russa tonight. He probably will be. There's another base hit for Ray. His 3rd hit of the night.
He came in batting .600 in his last 7 starts, and he's added to that with 3 hits.
Remember how well the Cardinals played in the final stretch of last season, and many attributed that to the big crowds at home and big crowds on the road because of McGuire. And they've had those kinds of crowds this season, but as many of those people will find out, you got to be able to pitch, you got to be able to hit, you got to be able to catch. Cardinals at times just have not put it all together.
In some ways, it's backfired on the Cardinals. I think particularly when you play in Montreal and Florida, clubs that never get to see near capacity crowds or go to Busch Stadium and see this great atmosphere. Cardinals are used to it.
Right. Becoming used to it.
But those other clubs, you know, just get pumped up and just can't wait to go out and display their talents in front of receptive audience.
Here's Thomas Howard, who has had a nice night. 3 hits, couple of doubles. Swing and a miss there. And as you mentioned, Al, good to see Thomas driving the ball from the left side, something that he hadn't done prior to tonight. Back at the left side now. Here in the 8th. 3-1 now on Howard. Langford at first. 1 out here in the 8th. 11-2, Cardinals on top. There's a walk issued to Thomas Howard. That'll bring in Tatis.
I wanted to give you a little something. Little note I found in the paper. It says, how desperate are teams for pitching? Well, the Devil Rays just signed Jim Morris, a 35-year-old high school coach from Texas who hadn't pitched in 10 years.
Is he left-handed?
He promised his team he would go to a tryout camp if they made the playoffs. They did. He did. He was clocked at 98 miles an hour, and the next thing he knew, his AAA ERA was 2.25 after 6 appearances.
Wow. There's hope for the Mad Hungarian.
I said 98, not 38.
This is our Budweiser play of the game. What else? Fernando Tatis, his 3rd Grand Slam of 1999. Play of the game is brought to you by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. This Bud's for you. Tatis now with 25 homers on the season. 3 of those have been grand slams. Next by Telemaco is all outside. 2-1 on Fernando Tatis. Thomas Howard is at first. Ray Langford at second. Redbirds up by the score of 11-2. Next to Fernando. Popped up. Right side. Bronya has a play. And he puts it away in foul territory. Tatis is retired. He's 1 for 4 on the night. In steps Castillo. Has a single, a double. He is struck out and grounded out. Average at 281 now. Chance for another RBI here. Ball down low. Two homers, 19 RBIs, and as I mentioned, average at 281 for Alberto Castillo. Past 9 starts, he came in with a .317 average. That will rise after tonight's ball game. Telemaco takes his time, comes set, delivers, and it's fouled away. 1-1.
Telemaco with Arizona and the Cubs last year, and he was a waiver on waivers, and the Phillies picked him up. These Cubbies are coming to town when we get back home.
That'll be nice.
Games are sold out, but
McGuire and Sosa, part 2. Do you think there's any doubt that those two drive each other? When one hits a home run, the other one may think about it, or at least it's in the back of their mind. Maybe extra motivation for them?
I think that they have each hit home runs in the same day 15 times this year and 36 times in the last 2 years.
Check swing in front. Telemaco loses the ball. And an error on Telemaco. Bases loaded for Renteria. Just got a little ahead of himself. Forgot the baseball. And Castillo was running hard the whole time. And he reaches base on an error.
And why look up to tag the runner? Why not just throw the ball to first base? Trying to do too much. So he thought he was going to tag him, and then by that time he ran by him because Castillo was running hard. Took his eye off the ball, didn't look in the glove, and it was too late.
Here's Renteria. Swing and a miss. Bases are loaded. Langford at third. Thomas Howard at second, and at first, reaching on the air, Castillo. Renteria does not have a grand slam to his name in his career. Runners in scoring position, hitting .304. Chance for him to pick up with a couple of RBIs. 11-2, Cardinals on top. Swing and a miss.
Over the weekend, Renteria turned 24.
Left side of that infield for St. Louis could be intact for years to come. Tatis and Renteria. And McEwing at second. Struck him out. Renteria not happy with himself. Strikes out with the bases loaded. Cardinals go back to work. They're on top 11-2. Cardinals in town for the first of 3 tonight. All the games on Fox Sports Net Midwest, and entering the game, a lot of changes for St. Louis. Now in the bottom of the 8th defensively, but into pitch, it's Heathcliff Slocum.
Only the second pitcher employed by Tony tonight. Mercker goes first 7 innings. Not a 2-run home run back in the first inning to second batter he faced, and after that he shut down this offense on 6 hits.
Rob Ducey is the hitter here in the 8th, batting in the 9 position.
This is what Slocum has done in his 21 previous games with the Cardinals.
First pitch to Rob is in there for a strike. 11-2, Cardinals on top.
Unscored opponent, 13 of his last 15 outings, striking out 16 for 18 innings.
Ducey in the hole, 0-2. Slocum is set. Here it comes. New left fielder is Joe McEwing. He moves from second to third. New third baseman is Paquette, or from second to left field rather, is Joe McEwing, and there's a strikeout. New second baseman is Placido Polanco. All kinds of changes. Slocum records the first out here in the bottom of the 8th, a strikeout. Tony La Russa using all of his bench. One guy that hasn't played, though, is J.D. Drew. Out with a bruised hand. Hopefully he can go tomorrow night. This is the leadoff man, Doug Glanville. Struck out a couple of times tonight. Led off the game with a double.
And home on the Gant home run, and then that's been the offense.
1-1 the count on Glanville.
They've only stranded 3 runners on the night, and 2 of those were in the first.
That one just misses. Bobby Abreu and Doug Glanville together could be the first pair of Philly outfielders to bat at least .320 in the same season since 1934. We got more production out of these guys than they ever expected. Pops that one foul to the right side and into the seats. Bottom of the 8th, 1 out. Cardinals on top by 9 runs, 11-2. Two to Glanville, swing and a miss. Second strikeout recorded by Heathcliff Slocum.
Change speed, still got the good fastball. The breaking ball backed up a little bit, but Glanville over the top.
Brings in Ronnie Gant, who was homered tonight, as Al mentioned. Has the only RBIs of the night for Philadelphia. 1 for 3. Rips that into right. Back goes Thomas Howard. He'll watch it sail away. Second home run of the night for Ron Gant. Number 14 of the season. He has 3 RBIs on the night. His 57th RBI of the season. Home run for Ron Gant.
Only the 3rd hit for the Phillies since the first inning. A double by Lieberthal in the 4th, a single by Abreu in the 6th, and now Ron Gant's second home run and all 3 RBIs. Challenging with fastball, wanted to be a little further away. Ronnie hits it to the opposite field.
Ron Gant, a couple of home runs tonight. and 3 RBIs. He has basically accounted for all the offense for Philadelphia. Fastball in there for a strike, and here is Gant's second home run of the night. Opposite field shot.
Ninth time that Ronnie Gant has hit 2 home runs in a game.
This is Bobby Abreu. He has a single tonight. 1 for 3. There's Ron Gant. Shaved head and all. Swing and a miss. Two and two. Here it comes. Right at Polanco. Ronnie Gant, a couple of home runs tonight. Only bright spot for Philly. They're down 11-3. Cardinal victory. Here are some of the headlines. Cleveland Browns return to the NFL. They're playing as we speak. The Astros and Braves both fighting for playoff positions. And NFL camp updates throughout the league. An update on the Rams after the game on Fox Sports News Primetime. Paquette will lead things off, his first at-bat of the night. He's in the 9th position. On deck, it's McEwing and then McGee.
It's Mahomes pitching.
Well hit and to left. Paquette has gone deep. Goodbye. 12-3, Cardinals on top.
This is the Gomes pitching here, and Paquette just welcomed him to this game. Oftentimes when you're in a ball game such as this, and you're down there in the bullpen, you don't want to get in one. Because it doesn't matter what you throw, it's just the hitter's night. It was a fastball, had a little tailing action in until it went out.
Welcome to the game, Wayne Gomes.
He's got some pop in his bat, and he's displayed that in his first week plus with the ball club.
Here's McEwing. He has a base hit on the night.
Of course, Gomes is the closer for Philadelphia. Leads their club with 16 saves.
Because of the injury to Jeff Bradley. That sliced foul. 2-1 on Joe McEwing, and there's a look at Paquette, who just homered. Maggie, Jeff, Colleen, and Jimmy Cole would like to say hello to all their family and friends in St. Louis, especially Grandma Mara, who never misses a Cardinal game on Fox Sports Net Midwest. They say they're on a vacation in New Jersey. Count even now on McEwing at 2-2. This big crowd has been disappointed tonight. 12-3, Cardinals on top. Many of them here to see McGuire. He is not homered. Most of them to see J.D. Drew. And McEwing strikes out looking. J.D. Drew did not start tonight's game, but wants to be, and hopefully will be in that lineup tomorrow. He's sitting next to Barry Weinberg, the Cardinal trainer, and also Darren Oliver.
You know, something happened last week that hadn't happened for quite a while. As you look at J.D. Drew and the bone bruise. Last Thursday, it was the first time in 56 days no team scored 10 runs, ending a streak believed to be the longest in history.
Does that tell you about the state of pitching?
There's Rich Donnelly, the Colorado coach and humorist, so that was only because the Rockies weren't playing at home. Since then, we've got back to 1990s baseball and a lot of double figures.
Brogna is as sure-handed as he come, and he gives it up to Gomes, and McGee is out. McGee can still fly.
Jordan
at first.
Yeah, well, all these defensive changes, and Jordan moved from second over to first base. There he is, and Sefik So in second. This is like a spring training game when you get lopsided.
Tough to keep up with everybody out there. Here's Polanco. This is his first at-bat on the night. Rips it into center. That's put away for the third out. The Cardinals get another run. Paquette a home run. It's 12-3 as we move to the bottom of the ninth. It's game 2 of this 3-game set tomorrow. Coverage begins at 6 o'clock right here on Fox Sports Net Midwest with Cardinals tonight. Then the first pitch at 6:30. And we have a new pitcher in the game, Al, Mike Moeller.
And Mike Moeller, since coming back to the Cardinals, has pitched pretty well. Went down to AAA, and nobody wants to do that, but in his case, it probably was beneficial. Got a chance to close a little bit and get his arm strength back up where he wants it to be, and he's unscored upon in 4 appearances since his recall.
Bottom of the ninth, 12-3, Cardinals on top. Doster at the plate, rips this one into left, giving chases McEwing. It's down for a base hit. Doster around first. He'll stay there as McEwing hustling, gets it back in. Leadoff base hit.
Joe did a nice job to hold Doster to a single. So the first man that there's some of what we think is his family, and I think right in front there, and at first I thought I saw his fiance.
Here is Sefcik. Hits it up the line and a fair ball. Past Eli Morel, grabbed by a fan. And thank you very much for that. Runner has to stop at third. And it's a double for Sefcik.
Well, you don't want fans to interfere, but yet make it so tempting with just such a low fence. This is one of the cookie cutter ballparks of the 70s, multi-purpose, so the stands kind of move out. It's just sort of a temporary railing.
That brings in Gary Bennett. First pitch to him, swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch. Tomorrow we will see Jose Jimenez go for St. Louis.
The question is, which Jose do we see?
Yeah. No in between with him. Bennett has his average at 279. Moeller is set. Good job by Castillo to keep it in front. 2-1.
Jimenez has not pitched against Arizona. He was 3-12.
It's Randy Johnson in particular.
There, he's Superman.
Yes, he is. On deck, it's Jordan. Moeller trying to get Bennett. Now he goes 3-1. To 3. Next pitch. Ripped up the middle. Polanco can't get there. That's a base hit. 1 run will score. It's now a 12-4 game. Brings in Jordan. Doster scores. Sefcik moves from second to third. And it's an RBI for Gary Bennett.
3 straight base hits. Challenge with a fastball. Polanco can't get up and sky and gets the ball. This is when you are asked to close out a lopsided game, even on the winning side, it puts pressure on you, because the last thing you want to do is have to make somebody get up in that bullpen and throw unnecessarily. Josh Shore is, you get up, you're kind of half-heartedly. You have to be ready if you're called upon, but yet you're saying, I know Muller is going to right himself and get the next 3 guys out. So you don't want to blow down there and take anything away from your next appearance.
Jordan swing and a miss. Off-speed pitch by Muller.
And it's kind of like what we were talking about earlier. You say, well, you got a big lead, just throw strikes. Well, major league hitters hit strikes. You've got to make pitches.
Good pitch there by Muller. 0-2 now on Jordan. Just misses outside.
That 88-mile-an-hour fastball looked like it was a Steve Carlton fastball after 3 straight slow breaking pitches. Lefty wore 32, wearing the Cardinal uniform. Then he wore it over here.
Carlton, among many of the great Phillies over the years, honored over the past weekend.
Before the game, I saw Greg Luzinski get a plaque.
Fouled back by Jordan. Muller would like to end this game. Fouls it back again. Does Jordan. Stays 1-2. Cardinals up 12-4. Muller set. Again fouls it back. 3 straight off-speed pitches, Al, and you'd figure that sometime or another Muller might try to bust him in on one with a fastball.
Well, he's had some problems trying to bust some people with fastballs tonight, but one time he didn't follow change-ups off a you throw something hard after you throw that many off-speed pitches, but I don't know if that's the case anymore. There was a slider there. It still wasn't a fastball.
2-2. Let's see what Castillo wants.
Third ball. 3-2.
Jordan has fought off a couple of pitches. Now he's at 3-2.
Fastball.
Gonna go at him. Pops it up. Does Castillo have a play? No, he doesn't. Jordan has fought off some pretty good pitches by Muller. Stays 3-2. Tony La Russa and his club trying to get back to the 500 mark. They're 56 and 57. Jordan fouls that up the line.
Fastball away, fouled.
Next to Jordan. Broken bat, hit into left. He earned that base hit. He earned the RBI. Sefcik scores. Couple runs have now scored here in the ninth on a broken bat. Base hit. by Kevin Jordan.
4 straight singles. 2 runs in the inning. 12-5. Just kept on challenging him. I mean, not a bad pitch at all. Breaks his bat, but Jordan wins the battle.
Looks like LaRussa may have seen enough.
Right. Well, he's already called to Croushore. Second appearance.
Croushore will be called upon to finish this game. Moeller is done. Nobody out here in the ninth. Cardinals on top, 12-5.
There is half of the Twin Towers. Nobody follows the Minnesota Twins. Croushore appearing for the 40th time. You know, he had a good week last week he picked up 3 saves. Third one came in Pittsburgh. This is only his second appearance against the Philadelphia in his career. There's my grandson that was born earlier this week, or today, or whatever it was. No, that's not really.
This has been a long game, is what you're saying.
It's worth it if we get this victory. 3 outs away.
This is Arias. Runs it to short. Tough play for Renteria. He bobbles. Bases are loaded. He let him eat him up.
Kind of got screened by the base runner. The bases are loaded. I've seen a Cardinal grand slam. See, the base runner kind of got in there. Not sure how he was trying to field that, trying to backhand it, but it looked like he was from his knees. So that's how Ordonez of the Mets is fielding some balls now in spectacular fashion. Renteria misconnected.
Here is Rob Ducey. Check swing held up. Well, it's 12-5. Cardinals on top. Grand slam doesn't even get you close.
Now Ricky Bottalico is warming up. Croushor's done a much better job of controlling their emotions. You know, the roller coaster rookie of a year ago, and
that's the key for him.
Yeah, because you know it's a fine line of being too hyper, but yet you don't want to back down too much.
The 2-0 in there for a strike. How do you like Croushore at that closing role? Do you like him?
Well, he's not a closer. He has been there because of circumstance and his ability to retire left-handed batters, but it is something that he will gain more and more confidence, and also with his pitching coach and Manning.
Now 3-1. Top of the order, and Glanville on deck.
But down the road, I think he has the ability, and so does Dave Duncan.
Bases loaded. 3-1 on Rob Ducey. Nobody out here in the ninth. Cardinals on top, 12-5. Bases loaded, walk issued by Croushore, now 12-6. Gary Bennett will score. The 6th run for the Phillies. Now Dave Duncan trots out from the Cardinal dugout. He'll talk it over with Castillo and, more importantly, with Rick Croushore.
Can't let what happened on the first batter, Renteria, affect what happens. You've already walked in a run, so you can't worry about that. So Russo doesn't want this to get any further. Still have a 6-run lead, but the bases are loaded and nobody out.
Here's Glanville, 1 for 4 tonight. Had a double in the first. Scored on a home run by Ron Gant. First pitch to Glanville is in there for a strike. Two finals already in. Florida over San Francisco. San Francisco continues to struggle. That's fouled away, 0-2. Cincinnati over Pittsburgh, 4-2.
They pick up a game on Houston, who lost to Atlanta, 5-3.
Montreal beat San Diego, 8-0.
I wonder if Matt Franco's pitching for the Mets again. (8-1) LA leads.
Swing and a miss. Glanville helps out Rick Croushore there. That's the first out in the ninth.
One of the qualities of Croushore that you really like is the ability to strike out people. His through ball to retire left-handed batters, an overpowering mid-90s fastball for the right-handers. Let's see how good a night this is going to be for Ron Gant.
Ron Gant already a couple of homers. Two-run shot, solo shot. Home run in the eighth, home run in the first. First by Croushore to Gant. Check swing, he did not go around. Bases loaded for Gant. Cedeno is on deck. See if we can get a double play here on Ronnie. Foul back. 1-1.
Things are heating up here. Well, we were in Atlanta when they had the fire in the press box.
It's at 96.
It was the first, it was earlier than that. It was the first game for Fred McGriff.
Foul back by Gant. One and two the count on Ron Gant. He has a couple of homers tonight. Two-run shot, solo shot. See if Croushore here can get the double play. And get the Cardinals back to 500. Now time call. Gant has picked things up for himself here in the second half. Helped his cause tonight with 2 home runs. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. That's the second out. And second strikeout for Rick Croushore here in the ninth.
That's one thing you can get him to chase pitches. And Domingo Cedeno will be coming up after the strikeout.
Croushore 1 out away from a victory here for St. Louis. Screw ball in there for a strike. Cedeno.
Apparently
That was cool. Domingo Cedeno. Terry Francona's used just about everybody for Philadelphia. Pop back. Out of play. 0-2.
Isn't he the last player? Yes. Last position player available. He's pinch hitting right now. Tony's done a pretty good job of going through his. Everybody but J.D. Drew.
The 0-2. Struck him out. That ends the game. Croushore 3 strikeouts. He gave up a bases-loaded walk, then struck out the next 3 to end the game, and the Cardinals win it 12-6. Thanks in part to Fernando Tatis. He went deep, a grand slam, third grand slam of the season.
Ties a Cardinal record with his third grand slam of the season. Only Jim Bottomley and Keith Hernandez have equaled that task.
That's Al Rabowski. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Thanks for being with us. Our final score tonight, 12-6. Cardinals win. Join us for our next Cardinals telecast tomorrow at 6 with the pregame, 6:30 first pitch. This copyrighted telecast has been an exclusive presentation of Fox Sports Net Midwest in association with Bud Sports. Thanks for being with us. Fox Sports News Prime Time is next.